Let's be honest, bonsai is all about results, especially if you're a beginner, when you're nervous about trying techniques that to many of us seem second nature. Well, 12 months ago, I took this Scots Pine, I took all of its growing tips and I cut them back to just 5, 6 needles, perhaps 5 needle pairs at most. Because they tell you, if you do that, you'll get loads of back budding, you'll get loads of buds set for the following year. But I've never seen it, and I bet many of you haven't either. Hi, it's Xavier and welcome to my bonsai retreat, and guess what? We're going to be looking at this Scots Pine, but not just today, we're going to look at it in say another year's time, because what I've always been interested in is after you do your early summer pruning of your candles, let's say you can cut back to 2, 3 needle pairs, and I thought to myself, does it work at all times? I mean, will these produce buds on every single branch that I've cut it? I mean, I've taken off probably 60-70% of the photosynthesizable material, and I know that with pines they're root based, so if the roots are good you can probably cut away most of the stuff and it's going to do fine. It's going to push out new buds for next year, but I've never actually looked at it. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to watch all of these little cut candles. This has got 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, got about 10 needle pairs. One beside has only got 3 needle pairs. This one here I've actually left longer and haven't cut. If we look into the one I haven't cut, that's got a single bud in the centre. So we're going to watch and see how that one responds, not being cut. And this back one here, this was cut to again about 10 or 12 needle pairs, 3 or 4 needle pairs on this one. Same one here, 5 or 6 needle pairs there. Right at this moment, none of that area has buds apart from the one that wasn't cut that has a bud there. There's also a little bud down here, which I'll be intrigued to see what happens and whether there's any difference, and also here whether that has any difference. So that's that side. And then, oh gosh, the sun's come right out. We look at this pad placement here. All of these I cut back to probably 8 to 10 needle pairs again on all of those. So again, that whole lot, none of them were left alone, so they've got no existing buds on them right at this moment. So then we'll be watching that branch as well. And I think what I'll say to you right now, because you're probably sitting there and we're going to work our way right through, I want you to see exactly what the state of this this pine is after I've decimated it, and see exactly where we get new stuff, if indeed we do. So let's just head up to the top, shall we? This one I didn't cut, it's got a little bud at the end, just the one. I've cut this one again, about 8 to 10 needle pairs. Here there's a little bud that was there to begin with. Let's see how that is. And equally on this side we've got a little bud there, and this has been cut to probably about 14 needle pairs. Looking here again, I've done the same thing, similar thing with the rest of these. That has 1 bud sitting in it, nothing else along the length. We've got this little one here, it'd be interesting to watch. And then all we need to look out is at the top here, and looking up there, didn't cut the one at the back, and I can see there's a bud inside there, nothing else around. This one I cut back, again about 12 needle pairs, so nothing on it at all. So there you go, I've fully documented what that pine looks like post decimation, and regardless of how good or bad the results is, I'll make sure you get to see it. Remember, it's a single flush, so we are not looking at getting a set of ramifiable growth out of this. We're looking at setting next year's buds. But will it do it? Well, I'll tell you what, I'd say to you put it in the comments, but you don't need to. You could stop the video right now, put down in the comments and say this is what you think is going to happen. Only other thing I'll say is that I had a few comments about whether I should leave this as the front, whether this should be the front, and I mean with that lovely clean area it should be, or whether I should continue with this really ugly area. I'll say again, this was a big experiment. It was a very ugly, boring tree to begin with. I may still work on this as the main tree, or if I like it and can develop more stuff down here, I may well take that on as the front. But if you've got the free trees to do it, it is always good to have a bit of experiment so that you know that when you do something, it's going to work. Anyway, I'll see you in a mo, shall I? Well, it's now the 23rd of August, 8 weeks thereabouts after I first pruned this. And even I'm glad I've done this little experiment, because if you come in close, you're going to see exactly what you would hope to see. Now, the last time you looked at this branch, that's where we did the cut. And if you can see there's a little bud that's coming up out of this needle pair. Again here, we look at this one, there's a little bud that's coming up out of this needle pair. Now we can't see anything on this side, but just in here, just there's a bud coming out, and also below it, here, there's a bud coming out. Also got a bud appearing here. So very, very happy. Now, as you expect, the one that was not cut has got the big bud developing plus 2 either side of it, and that's what we normally expect. And that was definitely pinched, gosh, way back in April, I believe. Again, here we've got this big long one, which will probably get cut off, to be honest. But at the end there, that was cut, and we've got the buds there. We've also got a little one coming from there, and I can see from down the base there as well. So I think, and certainly for me, it's nice to see that what we're actually being told is correct. By doing that pruning in the sort of July time, I've had to wait 6 weeks, 7 weeks, and suddenly we've got buds from all the cut sides, from the needle pairs just below. Some places we've got 2, maybe 3 buds coming. But on every single one of those, and I could take you right through them all, but we've already done a round robin when we began this, there's budding, or the future buds that are going to be the 2025 growth. So without a shadow of a doubt, you do your mid-summer pruning in the sort of mid to late June. I think it's normally just after the longest day of the year, and you will get that sort of results. So here we are now, it's the 10th of April, it's 8 months later. How's it looking now? And truthfully, one, it remains healthy. I do need to watch out for the wire, but so far no great signs of biting in there, which you wouldn't expect. There hasn't been that much growth over that 8-month period. But I know you want to know whether there's anything more. Are we seeing more buds setting? Can we actually analyse and see what we've got? And I tell you what, I'm looking in here and there's a lot to show you. So let's get straight in on this lower branch. This was an example of one that was cut. The cut site is in there, whatever, but what we've clearly got there is 1, 2 very healthy buds coming through. Side branch here, cut was there, got a bud there, and again here we've got another healthy bud on the end of that one. If we look down here at this lower one coming down, we've actually got 1, 2 very healthy ones. Then on the other side of it, third one there, and again on this equally the side one, you can see that's where I cut it. That's where I cut it, just there. We've got a bud here, and behind it a bud there. And I think you can see quite clearly on just that part of the branch there, every single cut site has at least 2 healthy looking buds from them, and in some cases 3. Looking around, I can say the same for every single one. Here I've got the 2, I've got a further one back here. In fact, there isn't a single branch where I did a cut that hasn't got at least 2 buds coming from it. This branch has got not only the 2 from the end tips, but 2 further back. There's the point. There's the point that I did the cut. We've got 2 from the needle pairs, and then we go a bit further back. We've got 2 more from there. So that's going to give me 1. I've got the option of actually cutting back, half a centimetre, using these 2 for ramification, or I can look at using alternate and use that one there and that one there. Now I know there's a lot of you who are saying, Xav, it's a Scots Pine. I know how they work. I know they do that. Everyone tells me they do that and it looks good. But you know what? Sometimes seeing is truly believing, especially if you're a beginner or even someone like me who's just assumed but never really analysed and looked at the results. Wow. Well, this one you've got to see it to believe it. If you can see here, the cut was up here. Then I've got a bud there, 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 there. So I've got 5, 6, one underneath. So I've got 6 buds in the space of 2 centimetres. That's allowing me primarily here that I can cut that entire part off there and rely on these two for the ramification, or that one there and that one there, or that one there and that one there. So I've got lots and lots of options. So what about at the top where I didn't cut? And again, you can see it between these two here. One I didn't cut, one I did cut. Which one gave us the best results, do you think? So that's the original nice thing we've got there. Nice elongating candle. There we've got one to the side, and actually that's all we've got there. And then if we move to the one that was cut, we've got 1, 2, 3, and actually underneath, no, right, so we've definitely got 3. So there we actually got 3, and for us we actually want 3 because I'll get rid of the middle and I've got 2 either side. Interesting. So, you know, I actually got better results by doing the cut. So there we go. Absolutely rip-roaring 100% plus success, proven, demonstrated on a subject tree that isn't potentially the healthiest. Right, well, we're the 5th of May and there's no doubt that there is loads and loads of candle elongation right across this. I mean, here there's multiple buds that have opened up, some of which I didn't even see. Let's get in and I'll show you. So I think it goes without saying, there is no doubt that the work that we did on this last year in the mid to late June has paid dividends. It's back budded profusely, not only from the spots that we've seen over the last few months every time I've come back to it, but even now there's so many more buds that have come up that I hadn't seen. So all I really need to do now, obviously we're still in early May, is I just want to balance the energy. Did a video earlier about energy distribution. All I'm going to do is basically take all these big powerful energy sucking tall candles and reduce them back to the heights of some of these smaller ones. The aim being the tree will then send its energy equally around all the areas, giving strength to absolutely everything. And I think as a rule you'll generally find that if you're trying to strengthen the lower branches, which the tree is often trying to dump, we need to certainly shorten the candles that are way up here at the top. Where I've potentially got 3 candles coming out at the same point, I'll reduce those to 2, but I've pretty well already done that work. So yeah, look, I am absolutely over the moon with the way this has responded to the work that we did last year. Oh, I can see some more budding points. In fact, that's ideal. We'll come back to this in another 6 to 7 weeks time and we'll wrap it up and you tell me whether you've observed 100% fantastic results from doing that candle pruning in midsummer. I'll see you in a few weeks time. Well, here we go. It's the 30th of June. It's pretty well 2 months later and look how green this is. Look how much growth there is on it. Yes, there's work that's going to have to go on with this. But remember, what was I trying to show? What was I trying to prove? I was trying to prove to you that if you took any candle and if you cut it back to just a couple of needle pairs, like that you would get guaranteed budding from every single shoot you did it to. So, you shouldn't have any doubts now. right now, this first week in July, it's just past the summer solstice. Get in there and start cutting back those shoots so that you can get the back budding that you've seen here. Now I know you're all saying, Zav, look at this, it's ugly. What are you going to do with it? But you know what, I'm glad you asked, because in the very next video we're going to see me taking this, applying a load of raffia, getting some wire on there, and starting to try and find a style that may actually do something to try and save this and perhaps progress it as a future bonsai tree. But in case this one can never quite get that far, we've got another Scots Pine. This Scots Pine you will have seen in numerous videos, and it's actually part of a collaboration I did with Kenneth Bond of KDB Bonsai. So if we've got time, I'll also be doing some ongoing styling with this, and perhaps making some key decisions about what we do with the length of this gin, whether it's appropriate, whether I need to continue to bring this wire further down, perhaps looking at this one, and indeed looking at the apical region. And if you want to know more about this Scots Pine and how it got to this point, that's the video to watch. Otherwise, happy bonsaiing, enjoy the summer, God bless. Cheers.